Whew. All right. Good afternoon, Facebook. How are you guys doing today? Have another video blog for you all. So I'm gonna tag some people, invite some. Tag some people, invite some people. You invite some people. We all will invite some people, and let Facebook do its thing, building up an audience for me to share some knowledge and nuggets with here real quick. And just want to encourage you all to never give up on yourself and to continue to believe in you. Hey, Derek Hodge Sr., Mr. Handyman. That's what your new nickname gonna be, Mr. Handyman. You be doing upgrades to your house, putting down new floors, new walls, all these different things. Every time I see you, you're doing a home improvement project. I didn't know you were so multi-talented. You know, you be keeping your skill set a secret, not letting nobody know. And I'ma get you to make me a bowling ball rack though, when I'm ready for it, and I'll pick it up personally. You ain't gonna have to ship it, so I can bring it back and put all my nice bowling balls on my rack in my house, because that is a cool thing to have, so that, you know, in the wintertime you can store your equipment in the house, and in the summer. So anyways, welcome Jimmy, welcome Todd, welcome Stephanie, welcome Chris. Let me actually share a few invites to a few people that's not on here. And let's see if anybody else has popped on. All right, E for real, Goodwin, Sonia Bell, welcome, Bridget, welcome. And so, if you are watching this video blog live, which is another edition of the Rucker Report, type in the comments city and state where you're tuning in from. If you are watching this on the replay, make sure that you hashtag replay. And if this is your very first time watching the Rucker Report, type in number 1 in the comments, right? So we're going to talk about struggle makes you stronger, right? Now, when we go through struggle, when we go through adversity, when we go through dealing with life's ups and downs and obstacles, we don't want to hear struggle makes us stronger, because we get tired of feeling like we have to be strong. I would say especially for Black women, because we wear so many different hats. We're always told we're strong women, we're strong Black women. However, we don't want to be strong or feel like we have to be strong all the time. You know, a lot of times, because there's so much that's put on our plate emotionally, physically, professionally, that we are carrying it all, it forces us to get into this mold or mindset that I have to be strong, I can't be vulnerable, I can't show no signs of weakness. And the more that you learn how to, quote unquote, be strong, to carry it all, to handle it all, it makes you build up a barrier and a wall where it becomes more difficult for you to be vulnerable, right? So struggle makes you stronger. It makes you stronger in so many different ways. Struggle teaches you resilience. Struggle teaches you forgiveness. Struggle teaches you how to persevere. Struggle teaches you how to increase in your faith, not only in God, but in yourself. Struggle teaches you that I may be down, but I'm not out. And then struggle teaches you patience. Because when you're going through the struggle, when you're going through the storm, you don't like how it feels. You don't like the workouts. You don't like the conditioning. You don't like the molding. You don't like the shaping. You don't like the, chiseling away at what God wants to change in you. But you like the end result when you get to the finish line. But the pain of going through the struggle is not ideal. The pain of going through the struggle is not what you prefer. The pain of the struggle is not what you signed up for. You want results, but you don't want to have to go through tragedy, through triumph, through all these different, emotions and all these setbacks and all these hurdles, so that you can appreciate success, so that you can appreciate when you get to the finish line, so you can appreciate growth. Struggle breeds growth, because where there is pain, where you experience pain, you will experience purpose. Where you experience pain, you will experience what do you call it? Progress. And a lot of times you can't see the progress in your pain because you're focused on the pain. You're not focusing on and being thankful and rejoicing for all the progress, for all the accomplishments, for what you did right, for what you were successful at. You look at what you didn't complete or what you weren't successful at, or what hindered you from maybe hitting that deadline or making that goal in that time frame. Because the pain of your struggles is a distraction, or is, used as a distraction to make you not appreciate how far you've come. It makes you not appreciate the growth, personally, internally, self-development that you have accomplished or acquired up until that point. Because we look at it. We look at struggle always and most of the time, or only from a negative standpoint. But struggle is a positive thing. As the saying is, you never can have a testimony if you never had a test. So throughout your struggle, there's a lesson you're supposed to learn. There's something God is trying to teach you. So the question you should always ask, God, what is it that you're trying to teach me? And what is it that I am supposed to learn from this struggle? What is it that I'm supposed to learn from this pain? What is it that I'm supposed to learn as I go through this process? And give me the courage, the strength, the resilience, and the know-how, the wisdom to get through this struggle. And struggle will define your mindset. It'll mold and shape your mindset, and it will define what kind of elasticity that you have or do not have. Because it's going to stretch you and stretch you and stretch you until you feel like you're about to break. But when you stay the course, when you face your storm, when you face your struggle, when you face your demons, then you come back to your original shape by not running, dodging, deflecting the struggle or the storm. And again, we don't like the pain, we don't like the process, but we love the end result. It's just like a person that wants to go to the gym. Okay, we're getting ready for the new year, right? 2019 New Year's resolution. I'm going to get my gym membership. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to lose 25 pounds. Gym be packed January and February. Come March, you can hear a pin drop. You can get your workout in about 30, 45 minutes and be out. Because the herd starts to thin out, right? Because the mindset was not committed before they started. But they thought if I paid my money, if I showed up, all these extra people going to be in the gym, I'm going to be motivated. They're going to motivate me. Motivation comes from within. How is it that we can be motivated on our jobs to work harder on our job than ourselves? If your job offers you overtime during the holidays, you would take it. If your job asks you to stay late last minute, you would take it. If your job asks you to come in on your off day, you would take it. Especially during the holidays, right? Because you need that holiday cash flow to go shopping, right? But when it comes to being committed with the same intensity, with the same mindset to start your own business, to grow your own business, or to acquire knowledge that will help you lower your taxes and stop getting beat up over the head by Uncle Sam, it's a problem. I ain't got time. I'm too busy. You just don't understand. I got this going on. I got that going on. But when your boss asked you to work overtime, you had all that stuff going on, but you made a sacrifice. You saw the benefit and the value of making the sacrifice for someone else, but you don't see the benefit and the value of making that sacrifice for you, for your family, so that you can have more, control more of your time, control more of your money, control more freedom. Struggle teaches you how to ask for help. Because you're not going to know everything. You're not going to have the answer and the solution to everything. You're not going to know how to properly react or deal with everything that comes your way. That's why we lean on our grandmamas, our mamas, our dads, our granddads, and our great-grandads, great-grands if they're still living, for that wisdom, for that knowledge. Because they've been around. They've been walked in our shoes a million times over. And so we just need that reassurance that, this too shall pass, right? Struggle and storm is only temporary, right? But we make it in our minds feel permanent. We make it in our minds feel like it's never going to end. We make it seem like that I'm going to do this forever. And sometimes when you are doing your long suffering, it feels like forever. Because in our mind, long suffering shouldn't, we got a timeline or a time limit on it. Maybe it shouldn't be more than 3 months in most people's minds. Maybe it shouldn't be more than 6 months. You know, once you get to a year, you're like, okay, all right now, God, it's been a year. I mean, how long am I supposed to endure, right? But Jesus endured for a much longer time than that. Jesus went through a lot more than what we went through, right? And our ancestors, in the time of slavery, in the time of segregation, in the time of working on the plantation and picking cotton and having the house Negro and the field Negro, and how, you know, they gave the illusion and they played on the mindset to make the house Negro feel like they were better than the slave Negro out there on the plantation in the field. But they both had their pros and their cons. They both had their, painful memories, experiences. You know, the house Negro was just as much a slave as the field Negro. No one was better than the other, but that's the way that they brainwashed them into thinking that one was better than the other by the way they treated them, or by the way they were able to manipulate them to treat their own out in the field. Like, you heard what he said, you don't talk back to massa. The movie Life, that guy, his role, that's a clear example of how they make you think that one is better than the other when they give you some power, when they give you some authority, when they allow you to not just eat the crumbs that they have to offer. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel superior. It makes you feel more powerful. But you should be the one who defines what powerful is. You should be the one that defines what the power in being able to make a choice looks like. So, you know, when they say a generational curses come in many different forms of what the curse is. See, brainwashing a generation of people, the mentality, or keeping them ignorant and dumb because we don't read, or because we don't seek out information to learn, instead of just taking somebody's word for something, or not wanting to be better, not wanting to do better, not wanting to know what else is out there because of fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown. Or because I've never heard this before, that means it can't be true. I've never seen nothing done quite like this before, so that must mean it's a joke. That there must be some kind of illegal activity involved. Because it's something I'm hearing for the first time. Because I've never laid my eyes on something different. But we're too lazy to research information for ourselves. The house Negro and the field Negro was one of the same. They just manipulated them differently. And they turned them against each other through the type of manipulation that they administered day in and day out, day in and day out. So if our ancestors could take it, if our ancestors could sacrifice it, what's our excuse? They did more with less. We got all the education, we got all the degrees, we got all the high-paying jobs, the corporate this, the corporate that, and we struggling worse than our ancestors did, and they had way less than what we had. They were less educated than what we were, because they knew how to stick together, they knew how to collaborate, they knew how to barter, they knew how to, communicate and understand that they had nothing to lose by working together, but they only had everything to gain. So struggle. If you can take it, you can make it. If our ancestors could take it, we surely can take it. Why is our mindset and our mentality so weak? We have no backbone. We have no, stick to it elasticity. We have no cohesiveness. We have no, we act like we don't have the ability to think for ourselves. Oh, so-and-so said I better not do this. I better not try to think outside the box. I better not try to step up and step out and go and use my talents and use my gifts and use what I'm good at, my skill set, because I'm worried about, da-da-da-da-da. I say it all the time. Anything you do for somebody else, you could do for yourself. If they pay you to be an engineer, you can start your own contracting consultant engineering firm. If you are somebody's dental assistant or dentist in somebody else's dental practice, you can start your own. You can start it off by just giving consultations to people who may need a consult because they don't know, how to go about searching for the right type of orthodontist or the right type of dentist or what type of, maintenance that they need to be able to do if they can't afford to go to the dentist. Maybe they don't have no health insurance. You know, anything you do for someone else, you could do for you. But we don't look at it like that because our mindset is conditioned to just work. Work, work, work. Work hard. You'll be all right. It's a badge of honor to work hard, to work like a slave, and not be able to expand beyond that, to work smart, not to be able to expand beyond that and have multiple streams of income, not to be able to expand and have a vision and a dream of something more than where you are. Is the struggle worth it when you make sacrifice? Absolutely. Is the struggle worth it when you're kept up and you don't get a lot of sleep because your mind is, brewing and churning because you have ideas that you're trying to give birth to? Yes, it's worth it. But if fear never allows you to step out your comfort zone and take that leap and take that jump without the parachute, without your wings, and knowing and believing that your destiny, your purpose, your passion is all coming into alignment because you desire and see more for yourself, you can't pass your job down to your kids. You can't create a legacy through someone else's job. You have to create your own in order to have that, to pass it down, to create a legacy for your children and your children's children. You can't pass down a job of a company you don't own. You can't pass down your wages. If you had your own business, you can employ your children so that they can earn wages. And they can earn tax-free wages up to a certain amount. See, lack of knowledge, lack of education, and lack of understanding, it hurts you. It causes you to pay a higher interest rate when you purchase a car with an astronomically high car note because your credit is bad. And when you get through paying for that car, you've paid for it 5 times more than what you really should have had you had a little more patience, had you had a little more persistence, had you had a little more discipline to actually improve your credit score before you decide to go purchase a new car. It's the difference when your car gets totaled or your car breaks down, your car goes completely out and you're forced to go buy a purchase or make a big purchase that you was not intending on doing. But when you plan to make a purchase, whether you plan to buy a house or you plan to buy a car, and you fail to do the work and put in the necessary exercise so that you can strengthen your posture before you get to that point and get the best deal possible, that's called foolishness. That's called laziness. Too many times we celebrate in our ignorance and use the excuse, well, I didn't know. And use the excuse that, well, nobody taught me. I didn't have the time. I would have the time to fix my credit if that means I can take my credit score from a 620 to a 720. And that's the difference between me paying 14% versus paying 7%. I'd have the time to do that. Because what it's going to cost me if I don't do it is going to be 3 times more expensive. What they say, though, the best lessons that you learn are the hardest ones that you had to go through. And you never make the same mistake twice when you had to actually go through that hardship, when you had to go through that struggle, when you had to cry over that struggle, when you had to punch some holes in the wall over that struggle, or you had to go to the gym and release some tension and release some stress over that struggle. Your reaction, your response, and what you have time for will be very different when you didn't have to put no blood, sweat, and tears into it. So how long are you willing to continue to make the same mistakes? If you didn't know that you're going to continue to face that lesson, face that test until you pass it. And each time you fail it and the test come back around, it becomes harder and harder to pass. And who wants to continue to be like the children of Israel and wander around in the wilderness for 40 years when the trip really could have been done in 4 days? And be left and not get into the promised land because of their murmuring and their, negativity and their lack of faith and their, cursing God and how you going to have this man lead us out. We were better off where we were. Struggle makes strength. Struggle creates a lot of great positive things only if you know how to change your mindset and look at the struggle as it's an opportunity for me to thrive. It's an opportunity for me to create. Most people's passion and purpose was created out of pain, out of a lot of pain. If you ever listen to the story of Marvin Sapp, he didn't hit his #1 record until he went through a lot of pain. He lost his father and then he lost his wife, back to back. The song he wrote about losing his father, the song he wrote about losing his wife, those was his 2 #1 hit records, singles and albums. And he said, if this is the only way I could get a #1 record, I'd never, ever want to get another #1 hit, because what it cost me in order to get it, I don't want. I wouldn't wish it on nobody, and I wouldn't want to go through it again. So there is, people look forward to hearing your story. Your story is what they're attracted to. Your pain, your struggle, and what you went through is what they can relate to. Because your story is what sells. Your story is what makes people want to be a part of what you're doing. Your story is what makes people want to succeed and support what you're doing. Because they can identify and see, if she can do it, I can do it. For all the single mothers out there who always make an excuse and come up with a reason as to why they can't do it, because I'm a single parent, because I don't have a babysitter, because, nobody's willing to help me. You need to change your mindset and look at the reasons why you should, why you can, and how to. How am I going to do this as a single parent? How am I going to accomplish this on the limited budget that I may currently have? How can I create me another stream of income as a single parent? How can I, thrive in case my child support don't come through? Not say, I quit, I give up, I throw in the towel, because ain't nobody willing to help me, because don't nobody understand me, because nobody's there to cheer me on and root me on. If you've ever had to struggle in any shape, fashion, whether it's been financially, whether you had to depend on somebody else to help you by you living with them, or them paying your bills, or you asking for money, or whatever the situation may be. If you've ever had to struggle in any type of way, how did you take that and use it to your benefit? How did you turn that pain into profit? Because every great person who's came out with something successful, a successful brand, a successful product, a successful career, it came out of pain. If you listen to Les Brown's YouTube motivational videos, he was, what do you call that? He was labeled educational or whatever, mentally retarded, uneducated, mentally retarded. You can't do that. You will never be that. You're mentally retarded. Your brother's smarter than you. Maybe you just need to, think about getting a good job. Because that's all, you'll qualify for that. Because you're not educated enough. You're not smart enough. Every successful person that was told that, they didn't go to college. They're millionaires now. They don't have a degree. But we all degreed up, and we so smart, and we so this and that, but you can't take your degree to the pawn shop and get no money for it. They wouldn't even give you $5 for it, but it's worth so much. And you're so educated, and you're so intelligent. You know what I'm saying? That nobody can teach you nothing new, because you know it all. Or you're embarrassed to admit what you don't know, because you don't want to look a certain way. You got to fake it till you make it, right? So it's a lot of things we've been taught that was wrong. It's a lot of things we've been taught that doesn't serve us well, that does not help us grow, that does not help us unify, that does not help us collaborate. So the question is, what's holding you back? And the answer to that is you. You hold you back because you are the warden that had the keys to your own prison cell. And you are the one that's holding you captive to whatever negative thoughts and demons that you are battling within you. And that's your struggle. And until you can get out your own way, it's going to continue to be your struggle. So this is what I want to share with you today on the Rucker Report, 2nd edition, is that your struggle is going to teach you patience, resilience, elasticity, determination, and consistency and persistence. Only if you're willing to allow and admit to yourself that you don't know everything and you still have room for improvement. If you're watching this live, type in the comments, city and state where you're tuning in from. If you're watching the replay, #replay. If you're watching the Rucker Report for the first time, type in #1 in the comments. And remember to get your money up, because you absolutely can and you absolutely deserve to do just that, and learn to leverage your job the same way that they leverage you.